Order of operations. What does the order of operations mean? Order of operations simply is this, okay? There are rules to follow. When simplifying, or I'm going to put another word in here that you'll see, evaluating. An expression. That contains multiple operations. Rules to follow when simplifying or evaluating an expression that contains multiple operations. Simplifying, evaluating. Another fun word for that would be do the math. When I'm doing the math, when I'm figure out an answer. Operations. What are operations? Adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. When it has multiple operations. We okay with that? Yes, ma'am. Please. Please come sharpen your pencil. You're okay. Okay, we call these things, you might have heard of them. P E M D. Let's do that. PEMDAS. And I did it like this for a reason, color coordinating it. Because there's a specific way that you have to do these things. Parentheses. I always mess this up. Thesis. Parenthesis. And other grouping symbols. Ooh, that's fun. What are some other grouping symbols? Yes. Brackets, yeah. So we're talking about parentheses. So that's these things, right? Then you've got brackets and braces. And there's one more that we have talked about so far this year. Remember what it is?
Square root, right?
Perfect. The square root, the radical symbol. Brackets, braces, parentheses, radicals. Another grouping symbol. Man, look at you go, Blake. Nicely done. right, parentheses. Then we have these fun things called exponents. Yeah, those little tiny numbers that float way up in the air. Exponents. Then notice, I have these two things together. Multiply and divide. And you always do multiplication and division left to right as you see them. And then we have addition and subtraction. Again, left to right as you see them. All right. Does everybody have this? You guys worked with PEMDAS before?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Don't ever forget this. So, funny thing, I'm sitting with my dad. My dad is, 64. Sitting with my dad. He came down to visit this weekend. I'm sitting on the couch next to my dad. He's scrolling through Facebook, which, number one, is funny in and of itself. And my 64-year-old father is on Facebook. But that's a whole other story, okay? So he's on Facebook. He's scrolling through. He pulls up this post from one of his friends that it's this math problem. And it says, what does this equal? My dad's like, easy, 104. He was like, what do you think it is, Ryan? He said, I think it's 4. What? How do you think? Actually, it was 104. He said 4, sorry. He said 4. I said 104. He was like, hey, good to see you, Dominic. Turn your camera off, buddy. Turn your camera off and your microphone off.
You gotta come inside music.
Okay.
All right. Focus in with us.
Get that dollar.
So he has this problem, and he's like, it's 4 because it says 50 plus 50 times 0 plus 2 plus 2. And my dad's like, well, that's easy, right? Because that's 4. 50 plus 50 is 100 times 0 is 0 plus 2 is 4. And I was like, no, Dad, you must use order of operations. And he goes, what is that? I'm like, oh, God.
Math teacher's worst nightmare.
Yeah, especially when it's your dad. Like, so we have to remember these rules always. So something that I like to show is I like to show a little video. This is probably one of my all-time favorite songs ever. Shh.
I need your expertise. I'm stuck on this problem. Would you help me, please? I said, teacher, I don't know what to do. I'm looking at this problem and I'm feeling real confused.
Parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide, add, subtract, easy as that. Use PEMDAS to get it right. Multiply or divide, add, subtract, easy as that. Use PEMDAS to get it right.
The first step, parentheses. Hugging all the numbers that you need to complete. They're always there, just hugging them, surrounding them until they're done. Step 2, exponents. Tiny little numbers, yes, floating up there in the emptiness. Step 2, exponents, what you do next? Step 3 and 4, you already know. Multiply, divide, the entire row. Go left to right, now take it slow. Just take it slow, so you go. Steps 5 and 6 are the basic math. That I'm all
Left and then subtract.
PEMDAS, 6 steps, they're easy breezy.
And super duper easy cheesy.
When you're doing math, reminding you what to do first, then last. Order of operations, a new sensation. Use PEMDAS when looking at equations.
C's, exponents, or divide, add, subtract, easy as that. Use PEMDAS to get it right. Parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide, add, subtract, easy as that. Use PEMDAS to get it right. When I'm feeling real confused, teacher. Teacher. Entire life. C's, exponents, multiply or divide, add, subtract, easy as that. Use PEMDAS to get it right. Parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide, add, subtract, easy as that. Use PEMDAS to get it right.
He was just saying,
You guys
will be singing that for
the rest of the day, won't you? I want you to write these down, please. Write down number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Write them down. We'll come back in just a second. Leave yourself plenty of room to solve them and to work them out. You're going to show your work
all the time. Always show all of your
thinking. Here's what I want you to do. Shh. Number 1, listen. Number 1, silent. Nobody's looking at anybody else. Nobody's talking. I want you to work out number 1, please. Go. Work out number 1 on your own. Don't talk. Don't look at your neighbors. Don't look at your neighbors' papers. Just write. How many of you in your groups, every single group member had the same answer? All 3 in your group had the same answer? Yeah. Why do you answer it like it's a question? It's a simple yes, we had the same answer, or no, we didn't have the same answer. I didn't ask if it was right. I asked, was it the same? Okay, so those of you who didn't raise your hands because your group had different answers. How many of you in your groups had different answers? Show of hands. Interesting. Why? How did you get different answers?
He forgot the song. We just sang the song.
So
wait a minute.
if I do this,
I take 7 plus 54 and I get 61 divided by 3 times 2. So 61 divided by 3, 3 into 61. That's 2. It's 6.
oh, I can't do that, so that's 10. Oh, so that's
2.3 repeating times 2. So that's a 6 and a 0. Oh, so my answer is 40.6 repeating. How many of you, that's the answer you got?
I thought it was 60.
I thought it was 60. I thought it was 43, y'all.
Oh, so question, what did I do?
You didn't ask.
no. I didn't ask what I didn't do.
What did I do?
You did it wrong.
No. What did I do?
Levi.
You did addition first instead of the
Okay, why would I have done addition first?
because you think you're going from left to right.
Okay, so
I read the sentence
left to right,
and did whatever it told me to do.
left to right, no matter what the operation was, right?
Just like your dad did.
Okay, so just like my dad, I read it left to right and just did the math. Is that correct?
No. Okay, good. So
This would be a big fat, please, Mr. Raymond, don't ever do it like that again. That's not how we're supposed to do it. Oh, you mean I need to use PEMDAS? Parentheses. Do I see any parentheses? Okay, so let me ask you this question real quick. You say yes. What in the world did these parentheses tell me? I mean, if I look inside, all I see is a 2.
Well, you multiply by the 2. So you multiply by 3, then you
Those parentheses, listen,
Those parentheses are telling me to do what?
multiply.
Remember, we can talk about multiplication, and it could look like this. It could look like this. Or it can look like this. All three of those mean multiplication. Remember, class, please, we are not going to be doing this from here on out. We will not do 3x2 because that looks like it's a variable. We will do one of these two things when we talk about multiplication. So according to PEMDAS, I've got to multiply first. So that means I should do something like 7 plus 54 divided by 6. Multiply first. Okay, and then what? Divide. Okay, so now you would say 7 plus 9 is 16.
Okay.
What about this, though? How about this one, ladies and gentlemen? What does it say to do with multiply and divide? Left to right. Okay, so let's say those of you who answered 16. What if I said it was something like this? 7 plus 54 divided by 3. So that would be 54 divided by 3 is 1. 24, that would be 18. So 7 plus 18 times 2.
So we got it.
So 7.
Plus 36 is 43. Which one is correct?
Wait, but the parentheses
No.
Listen,
The parentheses
just tell me that I am what?
multiplying.
There's nothing going on inside the parentheses. It's telling me it's 3 times 2.
So the
First thing that I've got to do, ladies and gentlemen, divide 54 by
3, because I multiply
or divide
left.
to right. So the first thing that I see as I'm reading left to right is divide 54 by 3. I know you're loving me right now, aren't you?
Because I just gave you
3 different answers. I gave you 40.6 repeating. I gave you 16. I gave you 43. Which one is correct? Well, I can go ahead and tell you which ones aren't, and that's these two are definitely not correct.
What? I'm confused and I wasn't in the beginning.
Listen. Follow PEMDAS. Parentheses first. Those parentheses aren't holding anything together to do. There's no operation in them. So that tells me that I'm multiplying 3 times 2. Exponents. Do I have any exponents? Nope. No exponents. So now I'm going to look left to right to multiply or divide first. I first come across division by 3. Then I multiply by 2. Then I add. You want me to play the song again?
Okay.
I like this.
How about this?
I want you to work silently on number 2. Go. Silently.
Can we watch it again?
We'll watch it again before the end of class, I promise. Silently work on number 2.
Why are you bullying me?
Shh. Silently work on 2. What I did first. What was the first step? Exponents. Now, here's something that you got to remember. Listen. Shh. Listen. Shh. Listen. This is not -4 squared. This is not -4 squared. That's not what this is. This is -4 squared. Does that make sense? Okay. So it's -4 squared. not negative 4 squared, because negative 4 squared would give me a positive 16. And look at what I have here. I have a negative 16, right? I have minus 4 squared, and 4 squared is 16, so it's 24 minus 16. Then my second step should be what?
Multiply.
Yeah, should be multiply. 16 times 3. And 16 times 3 is
48.
48. Then my next step should be correct. 24 minus 48 is negative 24.
Plus 15.
Then I add plus 15 to get negative 9.
They were saying like, oh, it's 39. I said, but it's a small number.
So wait a minute. Listen.
Shh. Some of you are forgetting your integer rules when adding a negative and an opposite. What you got, Levi?
Whenever I wrote it down as a process, I read the 3 plus 15 as 3 divided by 15.
Oh, so you did 3 divided by 15. Okay.
That's a mistake with all the
All right. So, but many of you got lost, or you made your mistake right here. And I see where you got 39 from, and you went, well, a negative plus a positive has got to be a negative, because I remember Mr. Raymond saying that, if the signs are opposite, then it's a negative, but that's only with multiplying or dividing. Remember our rule when we are adding negative numbers. We take the sign of the larger number. Remember, step 1, take the sign of the larger number.
Why can't we do this stuff we learned a while ago? It moves out when we start.
Oh no, it can't move out. Just like my dad learned this way back in the day.
But all of a sudden he goes, I don't need that anymore, and he throws it away.
No, you can't throw it away. You use PEMDAS all the time.
Oh,
For the stuff.
the time.
What's the sign of my larger number? What's larger, 24 or 15?
24. So it's a negative.
And then step 2 is what is the difference between the numbers? So 24 minus 15 is 9. So my answer, negative 9. Remember, those are the rules that we talked about like week 2 or 3 in this unit. I know this unit has been forever and a day long. Like, I am ready for this unit to go away and be done, right?
Yeah.
We will be done the week before Thanksgiving break.
Notice up here.
Today we're doing PEMDAS. When you come see me Friday, we're talking about evaluating expressions. Monday, everything's going to get pushed a little bit, because Monday we're going to do something different. Tuesday, Wednesday we'll do real number system, and then we'll also dive into properties of real numbers on the same day. So those will be pushed together. Then you have a quiz next Friday. And then we start reviewing for our Unit 1 assessment. We're done with all of our learning by next week for Unit 1.
Let's just take a mental break.
Okay? You'll have a vocabulary day, you'll have a vocabulary test, and a Unit 1 test.
What do you mean vocabulary?
It's a foreign language, remember?
I told you you're going to learn to speak
Foreign language
bilingual.
that I don't.
That's why we do this.
All right. Number 3.
Here's what I want. You ready?
I want you to work on 3 and 4 quietly, and then I'm going to let you compare. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Go. All right. Check your work. Number 3 should have been 70.
Number 4 should have been 52. Check your work. Remember what Levi pointed out to us before when he
was writing down number 3. What about the absolute value? What is that?
That is a parenthesis.
I would say
Grouping symbol. It's not a parentheses, it's an absolute value. So we should probably go back up here to our grouping symbols and put absolute value, right? Absolute value. Okay. Notice number 4. $52 should be your correct answer. 2 to the 5th power is 32. This is where you go, oh, parentheses, I got to do what's inside my parentheses first. 32 minus 29 is 3. So then I have 48 divided by 16. 16 plus 36, 52. 52.
I told you.
All right. Last time where I'm going to let you work quietly and then compare your answers.
And then
We're going to go to practice some more. Actually, we'll take a break. We'll come back. You guys can practice some more in your groups.
Or we could just watch the video.
We have 8 more practice problems for you to practice. And then I'm going to give you your homework, okay? So, next 2 problems, 5 and 6, please.
We have to do Alex's this week?
Shh. Yes. 5 and 6, please. Quietly work, 3 minutes. Check your answers.
58 for number 5. 0
For number 6, how'd you do?
Terrible. Why?
I got 2.5. We got.
How? Okay. Look at my steps and look at your steps.
If you didn't get 58 and 0, look at your steps and look at my steps. In just a second, we're all going to step outside. Shh, pause for a second.
3 or whatever.
You're good. Thank you. All right.
The reason why I say please make sure you show your work is because now you should be able to go back to see where did you go wrong. Okay, so notice what Mr. Raymond did first here is I subtracted 9 minus 5, multiplied 6 times 2. I went ahead and I did both of those because I knew that I needed to work inside my parentheses first.
So, I have, okay. I have 4 to the 3rd power, and then minus, but somehow there's 24.
Well, 24.
We probably added.
You added
18 plus 6 is 24.
No, she probably subtracted 18 minus 6 times 2.
Yeah.
18 minus 6 is 12. 2 is 24.
You got to multiply.
Multiply first. Multiply or divide first.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
then notice,
And then I
I'm
got
subtracting.
54.
and because I got to do my parentheses first,
Yeah.
then I came out and I did 4 to the 3rd, followed by subtraction. What did I do over in the next problem? First thing I did was 3 to the 4th, and I went ahead and did the square root of 16 because that is a grouping symbol, right? And that gave me negative 81 and 4. Then I worked in C's. Got negative 28. Then I divided by 4 to get negative 7. Oh, so you did the square root of 16. You divided 16 by 2. Remember, when taking the square root, you don't divide by 2. It's what number times itself gives you 4. Or sorry, gives you 16. 4. All right. How about this? How about we take a break?
We come back, and you guys can start.
Start working on these when we come back. I want you to work on, you may work in your group 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12. In your groups, work together to discuss and make sure that you're getting the right answers. Go.
You're not getting another official. Really? Oh no, you're just like, it's like, bruh. Put it down. What do you think, she's nice. Yeah, you know how I would say brown or orange doesn't make any sense. She's very nice. Never did it. That's because your brain. What do you not understand? No, it was just your brain. It's kind of my brain is very hard. Here, you are brain. Your brain just doesn't. You're just now. What's like my brain? Not bad, cross transport service, not everything. Or another one is mail fire. You do it on the camera, right? My brain is working now. There we go. What was it? I can go over everything. The manifesting all over the mind of your head. They have to react to the different consonants and things. They'll be able to live with them because they're not a citizen of the United States. Also love with all little examples and his boyfriend. Has an addiction to.